Today is going to be row 2 of Laundry Basket Tannenbaum, the quilt pattern. For those of you who are interested, you can follow along on Instagram under hashtag Tannenbaum SAL, which is a sew along, and post pictures along with me. I would appreciate seeing how you're doing. But you'll see up there, you can barely see row 1 is done. Oh, I shouldn't, that sounded evil, that laugh. But now I'm on to row 2. And row 2 is the very top of the tree, right, just this section right here. And it's made up of half square and quarter square triangles. And I'm finding it's really good. This is a really good practice for me because it's been so long since I have really done any precision piecing. And this is definitely takes reading the directions and trying to remember how I used to do things. So for those people who are woolly gals or applique or Sue Spargo stitching or any manner of embroidery, this is going to keep me from slipping into aging quilt dementia. That's what I would call it. Like I'm having to reacquaint myself that a HST is a half square triangle. So this is kind of a good practice. Keeping that, it's like learning a new language. But what I found was I really had to read the directions over and over to make sure I was cutting correctly. And then I decided to lay the project out here, so you can see down here I've laid it all down as it shows in the picture. And now I'm going to start sewing. The first step of row 2 says to sew all the flying geese together. So when you look at this layout, it kind of looks like all half square triangles, but there are flying geese. So that's what I'm going to do initially. So I better turn my iron on. Hang in there, I'll be right back. My cordless iron. And so we are going to start sewing. But you know what I'm going to do, which is kind of a fail-safe for me, is when I start sewing this, I took a little bit of time to lay out the fabrics the way I liked them. And so I know when I start picking up the pieces to sew, I'm going to forget exactly where they went back. So sometimes when you take a photograph, see? Smartphones have more than one purpose. You'll remember where you had that piece. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got my sewing machine set, and I'm going to start sewing. It was a beautiful day yesterday, but today is a little bit on the rainy side. G is getting the van all ready for our camping trip. Looking forward to that travel. So I think I'm going to be taking just all handwork, combination of wool and I think all the projects that I prepped at Woolstock, I'm going to be, yeah, there was 4 of those. I'm talking to myself. Sometimes when I talk to myself, the other person, we call her Annabelle, knows what's going on. So let's see. Let's see here. I need some scissors. I'm just going to use these scissors. Yeah, I'm going to take a combination of I'm going to take all three of the wool projects that I prepped at Woolstock, and I'm going to also take, let's see, my embroidery, an embroidery pattern, which I'll show you, and some cross stitch. Because we're only going to go for about 2.5 weeks, so it's not like I need my whole sewing room. But, you know, I cannot run out of something to do. So there we go. Okay. Let's see where they said to iron this too. Yeah, iron to the dark. There we go. Iron to the dark. Okay. I have my sewing for this trip in my bag that my friend Karen gave me, and I'm taking The Good Life, sewingthegoodlife.com. You know, here's that adorable embroidery. It's already pre-printed on the fabric and the threads in there. Well, I'm taking this to work on because I just think it's adorable. And it's by sewingthegoodlife.com. Sorry for the snipping. Let's see, and then I have my, but isn't this cute? So this is going in the van. Okay, so here we go. So now I've already forgotten where these pieces go. So I'm going to just double check. Okay, so this one goes here. This one goes here. Not that there would be, you know, a big issue if I mixed it up. Gosh darn, it would be, you know, we'd have to stop the presses. Let's see here. This goes over here. Oh, I even took a picture and it's like... You know, it's like a Sudoku puzzle. Oh, there it is. There it matches up. Whew. Yeah. Take a picture of your layout. Not that there'd be any big issue if it got mixed up, but when you have it in your head that you want it to look a certain way, or the balance of your print or colors, if that kind of thing drives you crazy, then you're going to want to take a picture of it. Excuse me. It's here I'm sniffing. It's sagebrush. You know, the fall bloom, the things that bloom in the fall are happening right now, so everybody in town's kind of sniffing. Plus, the one thing they're doing this time of year, we have had, thank you Lord, a very mild fire season, and usually that's our disaster, local disaster. And so it's been very mild. And since it's cold and rainy, the thing that's been going on now is prescribed burn. And for those of you that are in parts of the country that have never heard of that, the Forest Service kind of cleans the forest floor up, if you can believe that. That's a big job. And they make big slash piles of debris. And then when the weather permits, when it's kind of cool and kind of damp, they burn those slash piles. And those slash piles can be 2 stories tall. I mean, they're huge. And so yesterday I noticed they started burning the slash piles, and so there was a smoke hovering over the forest out there, and you could kind of smell it. But with all that burning, all us people that have allergies, yeah, that's what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to press these next. See, did they actually press these this way? Let's see. Let's see what the directions say. Okay. Yep. We want you to press them both to the dark. Okay. I think what I'm going to do... Probably be better if I just spray them all. Okay. This is just a whole lot of seams, so I think I'm just going to press the center one open. I'm a little bit lower now. Hey, I'm going to check the picture again. Just because I worked so hard at fabric placement. And then this one goes on this side. This one goes on this side. Okay. Because I want my quilt to kind of look like I knew what I was doing. Whereas in wool stitching, you can just call it primitive. Looks like she wants you to press these seams open, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Probably makes it less bulky in the scheme of things, and then we're going to put this one on top. So now I want to really be sure I center this correctly and pin it. Her instructions are good because this is going together really well. I mean, I can tell that I have my 1/4 inch seam matching. Okay, so now I'm going to press it. Be right back. So I got it all pressed and just going to trim off the dog ears. And row 2 is done. Row 2, all done. Yes. So I'm going to place row 2 up here. Oh, baby. How exciting. Row 2, all done. The thing I noticed when I was looking through this after finishing row 1 is there were separate cutting instructions for all the background pieces. And I was thinking to myself that I am going to, before tackling row 3, I think I'm going to cut all of the background, all of this background piecing out ahead of time, because I don't want to have cut into that fabric too much and then find that I don't have enough of the background fabric, especially since it's directional. So I'm going to go ahead and do that before tackling row 3. Row 3 is all of those 9 patches. It's a lot of piecing. So yeah, I think it's going to be great. I'm really enjoying this. I am glad that I decided to tackle this. It's so not in my current way of life genre in quilting, but I love it. I really am enjoying it. So I hope if you're interested, you can pick up a kit or use your own fabrics for the Tannenbaum tree quilt pattern by Edita Sitar from Laundry Basket Quilts. Until the next episode of Tannenbaum, I hope you have a wonderful October and that you're doing some stitching at least. You're making time for yourself, and I'll keep you posted on the road when we start heading south for a little while. We're just going there on a camping trip, a little, jaunt down there for, a few days, and then coming back for Halloween, and gotta go trick-or-treating with my grandchildren, so I'm looking forward to that. But in the meantime, make some stitching time for yourself. Take care of yourself, and after I listen to this podcast today, make sure you're getting enough sleep. It's good for your immune system.
Thanks for watching.
And be sure to like and subscribe on Quilt Roadies.